Franz Kafka was a writer whose name has become an adjective Kafkaesque, used to describe situations that feel confusing, overwhelming, and trapped in systems beyond one's control. He didn't live to see his work widely recognized, and in fact, he thought of himself as a failed writer. Yet today, his books are considered some of the most important of the 20th century. Kafka was born in 1883 in Prague, then part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, into a middle-class Jewish family. His father, Hermann Kafka, was a strong-willed and dominating man, while Franz was sensitive, quiet, and introspective. Their relationship was often difficult, and this tension shaped much of Kafka's inner life. He studied law at university because it was a practical choice, but his real passion was literature. Even as a student and later while working as a clerk at an insurance company, Kafka spent much of his free time writing stories, often late into the night. Kafka's life was marked by personal struggles. He dealt with anxiety, self-doubt, and serious health problems, particularly tuberculosis, which would eventually end his life. His relationships were complicated, and he often felt torn between his desire for companionship and his need for solitude. In 1912, however, he experienced an important moment. He wrote The Judgment in a single night. This gave him a sense that he had finally discovered his true voice as a writer. Over the following years, between 1912 and 1917, Kafka produced some of his most important works. Among them was the Metamorphosis, the story of Gregor Samsa, a man who wakes up one morning to find himself transformed into a giant insect. He also began The Trial and The Castle, both of which explore themes of bureaucracy, alienation, and human struggle. These stories were unusual, sometimes unsettling, but they captured the anxieties of modern life in a way that felt both strange and familiar. Despite this creativity, Kafka remained convinced that his writing was not good enough. He published only a small number of works during his lifetime and even instructed his close friend Max Brod to burn the rest of his manuscripts after his death. When Kafka passed away in 1924, at the age of just 40, Brod ignored his instructions and instead published the works, ensuring that the world would come to know Kafka's unique voice. Today, Kafka is recognized as one of the most influential writers of the modern era. His ideas have shaped literature, philosophy, and even political thought, and the term Kafkaesque has become part of our everyday language to describe those frustrating experiences when we feel powerless against overwhelming systems. There are a few lessons we can take from his life. First, that personal struggles can often become the raw material for meaningful work. Second, that we may not recognize the value of our own contributions in our lifetime. And third, that honesty and authenticity in expressing one's inner world can outlast doubt and self-criticism. Kafka once said that a book should be the axe for the frozen sea within us, and his works continue to do exactly that, breaking through the indifference of modern life and forcing us to look at the world in new ways.